Gregg Olsen, If You Tell, A True Story of Murder, Family Secrets, and the Unbreakable Bond of Sisterhood. In If You Tell, A True Story of Murder, Family Secrets, and the Unbreakable Bond of Sisterhood, Gregg Olsen crafts a chilling narrative of unimaginable horror masked by the facade of a family home. This gripping tale recounts the disturbing life of Shelley, a Knotek, whose tyrannical reign of abuse affected everyone in her orbit. From her early signs of manipulation and deceit, Shelley evolves into a figure of terror, subjecting her family and acquaintances to unimaginable cruelties. As you journey through this true crime exploration, you'll delve into themes of manipulation, resilience, and the enduring strength of sisterhood amidst unbearable hardship. The book serves as a haunting reminder of the hidden darkness that can lurk within familial bonds, and the enduring courage of those who stand against it.
Shelley's troubled path. Michelle, or Shelley as she preferred, arrived unexpectedly with her younger brothers, Chuck and Paul, at Laura and Les' home in Battleground, Washington. Despite the sudden change, Laura was determined to give these children a safe space, knowing their past with an unstable mother. However, from the very beginning, Shelley exhibited peculiar behavior. She overshadowed Chuck, answering on his behalf, and showed outright disdain for her new stepmother. As Shelley grew into her teenage years, her actions became increasingly disturbing. Her dishwashing method involved throwing utensils into the trash, and her unsafe babysitting style involved barricading her siblings. At 14, she accused her father of rape, shocking Laura and Les. A magazine, discovered under her mattress, exposed where she might have gotten the idea. Medical examinations contradicted her claims, showing no evidence of abuse. Despite multiple rounds of counseling and family therapy, Shelley's behavior showed no improvement. She remained indifferent to the severity of her actions, leading to her expulsion from high school. The situation escalated as other schools followed suit, refusing to admit her. Laura and Les faced the daunting challenge of a troubled Shelley, as efforts to help her recalibrate her sense of right and wrong remained fruitless. Shelley's path of destruction. Shelley was a striking young woman known for her captivating influence over men. After high school in 1973, she married her first husband, Randy. Their meeting in Pennsylvania was orchestrated when Shelley was sent to the East Coast to live with relatives. Unable to find a school in Washington that would accept her, moving east was seen as her chance for a fresh start. Returning to her hometown of Battleground with a diploma in hand, Shelley reached out to her high school sweetheart, inviting him to relocate to Washington. Her proposition was tempting. She was working as a nurse's aide at her father's nursing home, and Randy could secure a job as a maintenance man. Once Randy arrived, he was blindsided by the expectation that they would marry. Bewildered but compliant, he went along with this unexpected turn. In 1975, hoping for a newfound sense of responsibility from Shelley, their first daughter, Nikki, was born. Unfortunately, the arrival of a child failed to instill any maternal instincts in Shelley. Instead of nurturing stability, Shelley's behavior grew increasingly erratic. She opted out of basic domestic duties, choosing instead to degrade Randy while surreptitiously acquiring control over his finances. This hostile environment drove Randy to flee back to Pennsylvania and seek a divorce. Following the collapse of her first marriage, Shelley shifted to an apartment in Vancouver, Washington, reconnecting with her neighbor, Danny Long. Their whirlwind romance culminated in a 1978 marriage, quickly followed by the birth of Shelley's second daughter, Sammy. This marriage descended into chaos within 5 years, resembling the turmoil of her first, and ended with Danny escaping Shelley's grasp. Shelley's third husband, Dave Knotek, became another victim of her tyranny. After marrying, the Knoteks moved to a secluded house in Raymond, Washington. Dave, enmeshed in the area's demanding logging industry, was often away for long hours. The isolation of their home became a breeding ground for Shelley's escalating violence and manipulation. Dave found himself increasingly hollowed out by the relentless emotional and physical abuse Shelley inflicted. Unlike her previous husbands, Dave returned home after each confrontation with Shelley, unable to escape her oppressive hold. His repeated attempts to flee were thwarted, as Shelley pursued him relentlessly, ensuring there was no refuge from her ongoing cruelty. The secluded residence, meant to be. Cycle of Shadows. Nikki and Sammy navigated a turbulent childhood under the punishing rule of their mother, Shelley. As the eldest, Nikki bore the brunt of Shelley's unpredictable fury. In the dead of night, Shelley, driven by her wrath, would storm into Nikki's room, dragging her out for unspeakable punishments. These bouts of violence, often involving brutal beatings with electrical cords, only ended when blood was spilled. Shelley's venomous words aimed to crush Nikki's spirit, labeling her as worthless and hopeless. Among Shelley's arsenal of torment was a punishment she dubbed wallowing. This ritual involved dragging Nikki outside, stripping her of her clothes, and forcing her to crawl on the ground while her stepfather, Dave, hosed her down. This harrowing ordeal persisted throughout the year, even in the freezing cold, with Shelley shrieking about teaching Nikki a lesson. The only solace for Nikki came from her sister, Sammy, who would sneak into her room afterward. The two sisters sought refuge in comforting fantasies, imagining their mother small and powerless. While Sammy was not entirely spared from Shelley's cruelty, she managed to placate her mother enough to evade the worst, becoming the favored child. Nikki's fate, however, often included isolation, locked away for days with only a bucket in the darkness. An exception in Shelley's pattern arose when she once pushed Nikki through a glass door, resulting in substantial injury. In a rare display of contract. House of Shadows. In 1988, the arrival of 13-year-old Shane Watson marked a new chapter in his Aunt Shelley's household. Shane, the son of Shelley's troubled brother Paul, found a new home away from a life threatened by crime and substance abuse. A natural charmer with an easygoing personality, Shane quickly bonded with Shelley's daughters, Nikki and Sammy. Initially given a warm welcome, complete with new clothes and a basement bedroom, Shane soon became the center of Shelley's dark attentions. Under the guise of discipline, he endured disturbing abuses, tied with duct tape and subjected to painful, degrading treatments. The household's dynamic shifted again in 1989. Shelley gave birth to her third daughter, Tori, with her husband Dave, and also took in her best friend, Kathy Larino. Recently jobless and with nowhere else to go, Kathy was meant to support the family while seeking refuge. Warm and likable, she fit well within the family circle, especially well liked by Sammy. However, her integration was short-lived and lurched toward nightmarish abuse. Kathy faced Shelley's unpredictable and violent wrath, enduring humiliation and physical abuse that deteriorated her health significantly. Locked outside in the cold, underfed, and abused to the point where her teeth fell out, Kathy became just another of Shelley's victims, being manipulated by assurances that the abuse was a necessary lesson for her protection. Dave, observing the situation, grew increasingly concerned. Secrets in the Shadows. In the turbulent household of Shelley Knotek, secrecy and manipulation became family currency, with Shelley herself at the helm, weaving a web of lies to maintain control. Shelley insisted her children Shane, Nikki, and Sammy uphold a fabricated story to hide unsettling truths, all while growing more paranoid, especially towards Shane. Despite their promises to protect Shelley's narrative, tension was unavoidable. Shelley incessantly filled Dave's mind with doubts about Shane's loyalty, which he found hard to shake. Even though Dave had a fondness for Shane, he wouldn't resist Shelley for long, an unsettling example of the hold she had over him. The rift within the family reached a breaking point when Shane mysteriously vanished. The story concocted to explain his disappearance was that he had pursued dreams of working on an Alaskan fishing boat, a tale Shelley insisted upon. Losing Shane hit Nikki hard. They had often shared thoughts of escaping their tumultuous home together. Now, without Shane or another maternal figure, Kathy, Nikki stood exposed as Shelley's ultimate target. However, change was brewing. By 1993, Nikki, freshly graduated from high school, found herself ready to stand against her mother's tyranny. Overcome with defiance, she retaliated when Shelley attacked her, reclaiming some power and shocking her mother. In an act of rebellion and desperation, Nikki fled, spending the night in the woods. The experience marked a turning point, causing her temporary relocation to Aunt Tricia's. Eventually, she found solace and a fresh start with her grandmother, Laura, a sanctuary that symbolized a new chapter of freedom. Meanwhile, Sammy, standing on a better footing with their mother, plotted her escape, leveraging Shelley's help to apply for college. While she slowly made her way out, her youngest sister, Tori, found herself increasingly vulnerable. Amid these familial shifts entered Ron Woodworth, a friend of Shelley's, detached from his own family and belongings. Ron, unsuspecting of Shelley's true nature, accepted her offer of refuge. Gradually, Shelley exerted her usual pernicious methods on him, isolating and degrading him until he became a shell of himself, a situation hauntingly similar to that of Kathy before him. Ron's health spiraled downward under Shelley's malicious care until it reached catastrophic levels. In a horrific act of cruelty, Shelley and Dave coerced Ron to repeatedly jump from their rooftop, ultimately shattering.
Gregg Olsen's If You Tell is a testament to the relentless tenacity and courage of the human spirit in the face of overwhelming adversity. The story of Shelley Knotek is not just an account of brutal tyranny, it is also a profound narrative about survival and sisterly bonds that grow only stronger under duress. As the sisters, Nikki, Sammy, and Tori Knotek, share their harrowing experiences, the book underscores the importance of breaking the silence in the face of abuse and injustice. It provides a clear and cautionary message about recognizing manipulative behavior and the necessity of seeking help. Above all, it celebrates the indomitable strength of family ties that offer support and healing even in the darkest of times. After reading this summary, one is left with the impression that courage can triumph over cruelty, and ultimately, truth can dismantle even the most sinister of facades.